Madam Chairman, Mr. Cameron, and to all the witnesses, welcome. My questions are for Mr. Cameron. Mr. Cameron, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, which is our most visited national park, has a backlog of $235 million deferred maintenance. It has an annual appropriation of $20 million and no entrance fee because of the way the park was created. Do you see any way that we can deal with that $235 million deferred maintenance backlog without something like the proposal that the President's made in his budget and that is included in the Restore Our Parks Act to use funding from energy development on federal lands to provide mandatory funding to cut the maintenance backlog in half?
Senator Alexander, there's no way in the world we could deal with those sorts of problems that you've just described, whether it's at Great Smoky or at parks like Acadia or elsewhere around the country. And we very definitely need the legislation that you referred to, and are grateful for this committee's interest in the topic and hope you get to mark up soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, we're talking about very basic things here that the American people care about. Look Rock Campground on the edge of the Smokies is a very popular campground. Now the department is taking steps to reopen it, but it's been closed 5 years because of leaky roofs, bathrooms don't work, unsanitary conditions, and hundreds of families are deprived of that. We have 38 bipartisan co-sponsors of this legislation. That would suggest to me that there's no reason that it shouldn't pass the United States Senate if we have a chance to mark it up and vote on it. It has the administration's strong support, according to Secretary Bernhardt, the Restore Our Parks Act. In fact, it was recommended in the first place by the administration, and then the outdoors groups and the administration got together and we merged Senator King, Senator Warner, Senator Portman. We merged all of our efforts into one. So we have an unusual happening here with the administration and competing senators all behind the same goal on this agreement. You're the budget man. I want to emphasize this is the first time, isn't it, that an administration has supported using funding from energy development on federal land to provide mandatory funding for the maintenance backlog?
Yes, sir. To the best of my knowledge, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah. And wouldn't it be wise if we have an administration who's willing to do that and 38 United States senators who are for it to take advantage of the moment, because the next administration or even the next Office of Management and Budget might have a different attitude?
That's always a risk, Senator. I agree with you completely. The sooner we can pass legislation with strong bipartisan support on both sides of Capitol Hill and get it in front of the President, the better.
And the Department of Interior has already established a system of priorities for the spending of these dollars. Am I not right?
Yes, Senator, that is correct. Each of our bureaus has a well-articulated process, and I'll be describing that for the record.
Okay. Well, I appreciate I had to come from chairing another hearing to be here, but I wanted to come to emphasize the importance of this piece of legislation, not just to the Great Smokies or to Acadia National Park, but to our country. As Ken Burns has said, this is America's best idea. We don't want millions of Americans to show up at our national parks and not be able to use the bathrooms, sleep in the campgrounds, walk on the trails, enjoy the great outdoors that we have. Everyone, so far as I can tell, of our environmental and outdoors organizations are busily supporting this effort. The administration is supporting it. It has bipartisan leadership in the Senate, and I thank the chairman for her focus on it, and I hope that we can mark it up, put it on the floor, pass it, turn it into law, and get the parks, get the deferred maintenance at least cut in half as the bill would do. I thank the chairman. That concludes my questions.
Senator